Hello and welcome. I'm Darren. Today we're going to talk about the recent build that I just did. So this is, you can see here, sat on the desk, the Master NR200p Max V2. We're going to talk about why I did this build, and we're going to talk about, is this the type of build that could be for you? So realistically, the reason I did this build was I needed something small on my desk. I've only got a small area on my desk. I've got two systems that I wanted to run. You can see there's one system here, and I didn't have room for another full a full ATX case. So the other reason is I wanted to have something that was kind of not break my back, move around. I run a sim racing rig. I wanted to do kind of benchmarking and testing of this system on the sim racing rig. There's another system on that rig at this moment in time. This will be a lot easier to move around the house. So that was kind of my reason for going with an ITX build. Other people will have their own reasons. You are giving up certain things when you go ITX, but at the same time, there was another reason for it, and I was kind of sick of buying 9 fans just to fill a case. So once you've done so many builds and you've bought 9 times multiple 3 packs of RGB fans for nigh on £100, it starts getting a little bit tiring. And I wanted to do something a bit different, so that's what we did. So that was my reason for it. Like I said, you will have to fight. I'm not saying you're going to have to fight. It depends on what GPU you go for. But you will have to, when you go for a build in something this size, you will have to manage thermals. That's just kind of obvious. You are ramming everything into a small case. But to be fair, what we've got in here is a powerhouse for this size case. You could put, don't get me wrong, you could put a 4090 in here. You could probably put a 5090. I don't know, you wouldn't get away with probably the power supply that comes in with this. But that's going on to the next thing. So NR200p Max V2 by Master. I put up a post on Facebook, and I was quite surprised that a lot of people weren't aware of this, because I basically listed the post as one of the best value systems I've built. And there were a lot of comments saying that $350 or whatever it is in the US, I'm not sure, $250, I don't know, but the price of the case. This isn't just a case. When you buy the Max versions, they come pre-supplied, pre-fitted with the 280mm AIO cooler and a 850 watt gold rated PSU. So when you put that together with a case, this case comes with a tinted glass panel, and it also comes with the ventilated panel. We'll go through that a little bit. But when you put together the fact that you get the SFX, because SFX power supplies can be quite expensive. So an 850 watt gold rated power supply, and then a 280mm liquid cooler, it seems pretty decent quality. It's quiet. I'm running the pump. I don't hear the pump noise. So some AIOs, when you're running the pump quite high, sometimes you have to balance the RPM because they can start to whine a little bit. This one I've not noticed. I did adjust the RPM, but I didn't do it because of the noise it was making. I just did it to kind of find the best balance. So that's that. Now, as far as any extras I've spent on it. So no, let's go through the full build. So we are using the Gigabyte B850i Aorus Pro motherboard, ITX motherboard. So pretty decent motherboard. Wasn't crazy price. The only probably downside that it does have is it only has one M.2 slot on the front, and then the other M.2 slot is on the rear. That's fine. I've managed to sort that out. So that's the motherboard. We are running 2 M.2s. So we are using the Western Digital Black SN850X, I believe, 2 terabytes on those hard drives. So plenty of space that we've got in here now. Obviously, we're running one in the front slot for kind of system management, and then the other one I've dedicated to a game drive. We are running the RX 9070 XT. This is the Gigabyte Aorus version. Perfect, running really well, really impressed with that. And what else? Oh, RAM. So we've got 32 gigabytes of 6000 megahertz CL30. Corsair Vengeance RAM. It's low profile. It doesn't matter. You could fit high profile. You've got a lot of clearance in this, so that isn't a problem, but it is low profile RAM. I didn't want anything RGB because this is not an RGB build. So as far as the changes that we've made to the case, we've added two Arctic P14 Max fans, 140mm fans to the top, to the radiator. Those are kind of a bit of an improvement on what came with the standard case. So obviously with the case you do get 140 fans. They are pre-fitted. They are Cooler Master fans. They're kind of a DC. You've got kind of limited adjustment on them. They seem to perform all right. This isn't something that you have to do. But these Arctic P14s are about £10 each, which is an absolute steal for their performance. They're very quiet. They're very powerful. They've allowed me to basically run at the same RPM, but bring the noise level down a little bit. So those are running static at around about 1200 RPM, and those perform great. The other thing that we've added is, well, the thing that we had to do was we had to do a mod. I'll show you in a minute. I'll pick the case up because that's the good thing about a lightweight, small little case. We've added two Arctic P12 Max fans to the bottom. Those are the full size fans, so the full thickness fans, and we have those set to exhaust. So top fans are exhausting out the top, bottom fans are exhausting out the bottom. This isn't your normal. It would seem a bit weird to some people. We are running the vented side panel. So effectively what that does is we've got the air which is exhausting out the top, and we've got air exhausting out the bottom, which basically pulls air in through both the mesh at the back and it pulls air in through the mesh at the front. So it draws air into the front of the GPU. It also pulls some of the hot air which is coming out the back of the GPU. It also pulls some of that out the bottom of the case. You do feel quite a lot of warm air coming out the bottom of the case, which I was quite surprised. Obviously, you are kind of fighting physics there. Warm air wants to rise, but these fans do kind of overpower that. So this works quite well. This gives me the best balance of GPU and CPU thermals. If you wanted to only concentrate on GPU thermals, there's a different layout for that. And if you wanted to concentrate more on only your CPU thermals, there's a different layout for that. If you're running this as a gaming machine and you kind of want the best balance of both CPU and GPU thermals, vented side panel, exhaust at the top, exhaust at the bottom, it's pretty good. It's not bad. I'm not going to say they're ideal. They're not as good as if you're running something like a full ITX case. You've got a 360mm rad and you've got 9 fans. That is always going to run obviously better than something like this, but this does manage quite well. So I'm impressed with it. I'm more than happy with it. I don't know in the future. I might go for a more kind of boutique ITX case and I might make some adjustments, but if I do, we'll do that in chum. But for the value that I got in this system, so at the moment £235 I believe it is. I think I paid $220. I think it was on some sort of deal at the time. But like I said, that was case with the 280mm AIO and the 850 watt PSU supplied, and it's all kind of pre-fitted, pre-routed. So in terms of easiness to build in, it is very simple. All of these panels come off, so you can just pop off. You can see like the front panel will just pop off, your top panel will pop off, all of your side panels will just pop off. Those are all toolless. Top comes off and your bottom has got a screw at the back and then you slide the bottom out. So obviously the top you have this top kind of panel that comes off, and then you've got the actual frame of the top, which is the radiator mount. You can unscrew that. If you want to change fans in the top and you already know you want to do that before you start building, because that will allow you to lift the rad out higher or lift it out completely before you get that pump fitted and bolted onto the CPU. And obviously once you've got all kind of velcroed in, there's velcro tie downs below the PSU. Cable management isn't that bad. There's kind of a channel which runs in between the motherboard and the power supply holder with some zip down ties, and then you've got your kind of zip down ties below the PSU bracket where your PSU cables come out from the bottom of the PSU. So it's not bad. It's pretty simple. You get some cable ties with the kit. I'd always say get yourself some more cable ties. But as far as it goes, that's it. Now, I will run some after this. We will run some gameplay. We'll see the thermals. Now, thermals vary depending on the game, and generally GPU thermals kind of stay pretty similar in this. I am running a slight undervolt, but I don't think it actually does anything, because I believe to actually make it work, I probably need to pull down the clocks with it, because it's still actually boosting. And that's what that kind of goes to show the thermals aren't bad, because this, in these games, this GPU is still boosting to like 3,200 or sometimes up to 3,300 megahertz, which shows that it's not limited by anything. It's not limited. Surprisingly, I'm running this, the PSU in this case, probably one of the downsides that I thought was going to be an issue. It doesn't appear to be an issue because I'm getting the full power out of this GPU. But it comes with two 8 pins. And then you have to use the piggy tail. So this GPU is a 3 PCI 8-pin, whereas the PSU only comes with 2 of those. There are obviously two leads with a piggy tail. So at the moment I'm running 2 and a piggy tail. It also comes with a 12-volt HPR NVIDIA, or sometimes, I don't know, obviously AMD are using a couple of those connections. That's got like a right angle connection on it. It looks quite high quality. So that hasn't been an issue. I thought at first, I'm never really happy about using, I'd rather run, if the GPU has 3 connectors, I'd rather run 3 single 8-pin connectors. That wasn't something, I can probably find one, I can search one on the internet. It was something that I did intend to do, but I've noticed it hasn't limited me running the 2 with the pigtail, so that's quite good. And as far as it goes, GPU thermals seem pretty good. The memory seems to stick, because the memory does run quite high on these 9070 XTs. I seem to be around about 85 degree on the memory, which seems to be actually pretty good for these GPUs. GPU thermals seem to go from about 56 to about 60 depending on the game, and CPU thermals can be 60 in some games which aren't high CPU demanding, and then they will run up to around 70 in games that are highly CPU demanding. All of the footage I'm doing is captured internally on this system, and when I do hit to capture the footage, it does add around about 2 degrees. So if you see the CPU running at 70C in the footage, if I wasn't doing an internal capture, it would probably be more like 68. So just bear that in mind, and it's the same with the GPU temperatures. So as soon as I go to press the hotkey to hit record, I will see the GPU temperatures instantly go from, if they were running 56 while I was playing, they will instantly hit 58, pretty like snappy like that. So it does add a bit of internal temperatures, but as far as it goes, they're fine. 70C on the CPU is the highest I've seen it, or 71 I think is the highest I've seen it go. That's fine. It's still boosting to kind of 5,000 megahertz. There is a PBO on that, and there is a undervolt of -30 on the 7800X reader. So I don't think I mentioned that there is a 7800X reader running in this system. So that's it. You can see it here. The beauty of having a little case is I can just pick it up and show you like that. So that's it in there. Like you can see, it's pretty neat and tidy and effectively very easy to build in. I was quite surprised. You can see kind of in the bottom there, we've got the full size or the full thickness fans. Now what we've done here is you can kind of maybe make it out. I don't have autofocus on, I'm sorry, but autofocus on this camera works like trash. So you can see that the GPU has, on the rear, it just has some standoffs. Some standard kind of motherboard thickness standoffs that are lifting the GPU up. And this end I've got, you can kind of just probably make it out under there. Just a GPU support right at the closest to me. Under there you can probably just make out. So that's kind of the only thing that I had to really adjust. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. All in all, so this is 7800X3D, 9070 XT, and all in all, this system with 32 gigabytes of DDR5 6000 and 4 terabytes of storage. All in all, this cost me £1,700. So that is UK. But to be fair, I probably haven't built a system this powerful for this much money. This is a really good price for what is effectively pretty much AMD's top GPU this generation. And, you know, 7800X3D, we're playing at 4K, so you're not really going to see a difference if it was the 9800X3D. So we're pretty much there with the highest that you're going to build an AMD system at this moment in time, and I am really impressed. Performance is awesome. The one letdown, and I have mentioned this in videos before, we'll kind of see it in the games that I'm about to play, is the only letdown I have with this system at this moment in time is probably FSR4. I want to see FSR4 in more games. We're going to show some gameplay because this is, all my systems I run at 4K. So you will see that we're kind of relying on 4K. And the games that have FSR4 just stand out as so much cleaner and crisper. And when we do obviously use FSR2 or FSR3 in some of the games, it does kind of detract a bit from visual quality. It's fine, it's playable. I'd still rather play at 4K with FSR3 than what I'd play at 1440p native. I still would rather have that extra resolution, even if I do need to use an upscaler to do it. But yeah, that's it. If you want to build something like this, that's kind of a quick kind of, you know, a bit of a showcase of what kind of money you're going to spend. You can kind of get a good look at performance. I've only put up like 6 games, but they're kind of 6 games that you can kind of maybe get a feel for what it kind of performs like. So yeah, I'm really happy with it, really happy with it. As far as it goes, noise levels, I've managed to get the fans, the highest you see the GPU fans go up to is around 1700 in, and that's probably playing Call of Duty or Warzone. That is very high on the CPU, which it does seem to obviously push the GPU thermals up with the CPU thermals getting hit so hard. So that does push the CPU up to around about 70C, or just around maybe even 71 it goes up to in that. Obviously screen capturing it would be a little bit less. So that it is the game that hits it the hardest, and I see the GPU fans go up to around about 1700 in that. They're not actually that bad. Admittedly, I'm playing with headphones, so I don't even hear it, but I've taken my headphones off, and these fans at 1700 RPM aren't actually that bad. They're pretty good. So in a lot of the other games, they tend to run at around about 1500 RPM, and at that I can hardly hear them over the case fans. And even then, the case fans don't particularly make that much noise. What you get is the noise of air. So you get the noise of air movement coming through here, and you get the noise of air movement coming out from underneath the case. It's all pretty good. I could play obviously without headphones and it wouldn't bother me at all. So as far as it goes, I'm really happy with it. If someone's looking to do an ITX build and it's your first type of, to be fair, if you're looking to do your first type of build, the way that this comes with stuff pre-installed, it is very simple to do. Like I said, this won't be for everyone. If I was doing something like with some of like certainly like the last gen Founders cards, my daughter's got a 4070 that I put for her in a height Y40, which is the smallest case, and that GPU just looks lost. In that case, it looks kind of stupid. That would look better in something like this. So that's it. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to run a few kind of gameplay, benchmarks, give you an idea from it. So I'm going to leave it there. If you like this content, then please give me a like. I would appreciate it. And I'll catch you in the next one.